Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage, where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news in the industry, and of course, stream for fun. Today, we're doing our part 2 of our State of Gaming. And yet, the last one I did was just talking about the kind of expanse and expense of just live service not really being enough, and there having to be a shift. And now, featuring player-generated content. This is mainly what this is going to become. In my theory, with where we've been going over the last 10 years, and I think it's really going to kick off in the 2030s, is that publishers are no longer going to focus on making the content themselves, but they're going to create a basis for it to start out. And then the world has to be good enough to actually inspire everybody else, the users, to basically generate everything else. So I want to work through some of these here, as these are just some examples, but like Skyrim. The Steam Workshop, basically, Bethesda has integrated a paid mod system, not just for Skyrim, but also like Fallout and Starfield, all of these other games. Cyberpunk 2077 is another one. Been a ton of mods on there. And this is not just becoming mods anymore. We're moving past just mods and moving to a system where users can actually create things and actually get paid for it. And another one would be like Infamous 2, which is actually pretty surprising with how old that game is. And then, also Far Cry as well. And Far Cry actually came up with an entire map editor. Now, we've had that map editor, I can't say all the way through Far Cry 2, but we also had a map editor in Far Cry 2. And then with the map editor, you'd be able to create an environment, host the server, basically, and then people would be able to come in and play. And you had all of the assets in the game, which was awesome. And basically, this is relatively the same type of thing. So yeah, thanks to Far Cry being developed by Ubisoft, the map maker also includes DLC assets from previous Far Cry games, as well as other Ubisoft titles, like Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. The map maker may not allow for maps as expansive as the ones in the actual game, but it's a fun way to shake up the online play with your friends, which is awesome, because then you're just hosting the thing yourself, and then you can have people hop in and play with you, which is a blast. Roblox. We all know what this is. Basically, they've created a platform. They allow the ability to create, and then now they've focused on just allowing users to make rooms, right? And different experiences and whatever. And of course, we've also seen this with Minecraft. Now, Minecraft has been around and doing this for a long time, but even with the creation of the Hunger Games and things like that, we had Hunger Game modes, and there's different servers you can hop into, and it's really expansive, of course, on PC, but this is starting to transcend PC and moving into console, which is great. We've also had Fortnite as well, and while the player count, has been really good sometimes, it's been relatively kind of low and dwindling the last while. But the thing that I want to focus on, again, is the creators, since that's what we're chatting about. And these are some of the biggest creators that we actually have. And of course, Epic is number one, right? They're the biggest one. But we have these other people that have also made maps as well. And again, it's not just actual maps. We're also talking, too, about fan-made skins. And these are actually all created by different users. And it's kind of cool to see this because, again, users are sharing a part of the profit, so to speak, whether this is actual cash, whether this is in-game currency or something, or even, too, just getting the recognition. And this is not necessarily a new idea, but, again, being able to build and make and create whatever you'd like, basically these companies, these big publishers, they're starting to allow an engine for user-generated creations to be made in. Which is pretty awesome. We're also looking at GTA 5 user-generated servers, and some of the best. And this is what kept GTA 5 going for so long. It hasn't been the story; it's been the user-generated roleplay servers. And there's also a ton of those, and some of them too also are getting paid for that. Now, as I said, this is not necessarily a new idea. This has been going around for quite some time, but all of these too are also user-created. Most of these are actually made through Blender. All of these that you can see, and there is just, it's insane. It is just millions and millions and millions and millions. And again, it's a lot like Roblox. But again, IMVU has been around for 15 years, 20 years. I don't know. It's incredibly It's an incredibly old game and just on PC, but I'm sure it's expanded past that now. But it's the same general idea. Okay, you have 3D chat rooms. You can make the room. You can use assets that IMVU corporate has made or actual, user content, which most of it is all user content anyway. And then now there's also Battlefield. This is called Battlefield Portal. And the thing that's incredible is that players can create maps from scratch with basically all of the assets that we have in Battlefield, which is pretty awesome. We did also have this in Battlefield 2042, which I think was supposed to really take off. But again, that wasn't the case because, again, they messed up the game so badly in the beginning, no one was just interested. And we've seen this too with Starfield. So just to take a look at some other games that are out there, we also have EVE Online Frontiers, which are asking for people to basically come in and help build the world. We also have paid mods, like I said, through Bethesda. And then we also had Mind's Eye with Everywhere, where the idea was, again, they make the world in the game, and then users can come in with Everywhere and generate more content. But again, Mind's Eye was such a disaster. That isn't going to work. Also, EA also has an AI prompt creator for content in future games. That was actually in one of their earnings calls. So yeah, this is just incredibly fascinating to me. And I just want to show this too while I chat, because someone actually made the Call of Duty map Shipment in Battlefield. So you still have the rest of the map around, right? But they've created everything. They've placed the spawns, and then you can hop into the server and actually just play Shipment in Battlefield. Which, how cool is that? Seriously, guys. This is a blast. And as you can see, this is actually pretty detailed. Again, you have to have a PC. This is not through console or anything. But I also want to show you this too in Battlefield. So I really wish to show this with Battlefield 6, and I really think it's going to expand a lot more past just, the devs making Battlefield content. Because we have something down here that they introduced in Battlefield 2042, but it didn't really take off. And that is the Portal. And again, when the game is good, users are going to get excited and inspired, and they're going to want to be able to create other stuff. So this is their Portal browser. And as you can see, there's already some maps out there. But then there's also experiences. And I want to show some of these because you can focus on just Ace Combat. Some people have created some of their different maps. And we already showed you that, Call of Duty Shipment map was already made. And that's already here. And then there's also bots you can have. You can focus on flying. There's all sorts of things. And I really think this is going to be the focus. And again, you can just use the search. You can focus on tags. You can change the maps and the modes and stuff. And you can tweak stuff literally in real time. And if you want to adjust the maps and move assets around to a degree, you can do that too. So you can make whatever you want to make. And yeah, this is just showing just what's popular right now or what's in there. But again, there's a massive server list. And it just keeps going, and it shows you what the ping is and how many people are there and what the size is, etc. So you can make the type of, the game modes that you want, but then you can also make the type of actual experiences and maps that you want too. So yeah, this is where I think the industry is going. So it's pretty amazing the amount of servers, and again, they only show so many, but again, you can look up the keywords, the search, all that stuff, and try to find actual servers. And I think this is what EA is banking on, along with other big publishers in the future. I'd also think, too, with GTA 6. I mean, they've seen how much money they've been able to make and keep their game alive with user-generated content with GTA 5, because that's getting close to over 15-year-old game now, maybe? 10 to 15. It's kind of insane how long it's been going. And then now we have GTA 6, and I think that's relatively going to be the same idea. Now, this is not without its issues. So let's take a look at Roblox. This is actually looking at the financial statement. And as we can see, the last 7 years, Roblox has never made profit. And why is that? Well, they have to host all of this stuff on the servers, and that costs money. And as users can generate and create, only a few are actually generating money for the company, while the rest of the 95% really isn't doing anything. Because again, they're only going to promote the servers and the rooms that are actually making them money, but they still technically have to support with massive infrastructure all of the rooms that are on Roblox, which has 111 million daily active users. And again, basically anybody can work through the program and try to actually create stuff. Okay, this is just like YouTube. All of the videos pretty much ever made on YouTube are all still there. Like, that's pretty crazy to think about. So it is not without risk. So you have to find a way to make enough money, pay out your users as an incentive, and to be able to support it. But again, if you have a ton of fluff that's not being used, that's just dragging you down, well, then this is what that's going to look like. And again, Roblox has never made money. Now, they're still going. They're hoping to actually have really good revenue growth in like 27 or 2028. But again, we're not entirely sure if there's still going to be profit. So even though Roblox is huge, that's part of the issue. Now, with things like Minecraft, you just host the server space yourself, right? It runs off of you. But it runs off of their entire network of the corporation. So again, this is not like, perfect. And every company is going to figure out their own thing, whether it's user-generated with skins or with, in this case, with maps or whatever. I really do think this is ultimately going to be the future because live service really isn't enough anymore. We've been able to see this with down player numbers with Destiny, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex. The list goes on, even with like the having a game every single year like Call of Duty, Madden, and FC. I think people are ultimately just getting tired of what we're getting, and the companies, the publishers, the devs, they can't create fast enough or have the quality stay high. We've especially gotten to see that with Destiny 2. And basically that's just a dying game. There's just not that many people playing anymore. Some of them are going to stick it out to the very end, but again, just the future of what Destiny 2 is, it's like, man, you guys should have made Destiny 3. Straight up. It's the same issue, too, with Marathon. They're going to launch with basically 4 maps, one of them being an in-game map, and, I mean, it's an extraction shooter. I don't know. I don't think people are really going to give up Tarkov or anything else to really play Marathon, unless they really, turn things around, but they could do that with user-generated content. Maybe. We'll see. Again, like looking at some of these games, the GTA 5 and Fortnite, they've been going forever. Minecraft too. And again, you can create whatever you want. And now with Battlefield, again, it's part of the same deal. And I could really see the future going this way. So ultimately, I think a lot of the big AAA publishers, they're going to focus on heading this way, definitely in 2030s. And we're going to get to see that. And then indie and AA, smaller developers and publishers, they're going to keep making video games that are just going to be like those one-time releases where they make a game, you pay them for it, thank you very much. And they're going to fill that void. So we're going to have some AAA that are going to stick around and continue to do things, but I think we're going to see this elevation of like the platform game. And if you could think of the Oasis, I'll actually put that here.
This is the Oasis. It's a place where the limits of reality are your own imagination. You can do anything. Go anywhere. Like the Vacation Planet. Surf a 50-foot monster wave in Hawaii. You can ski down the pyramids. You can climb Mount Everest with Batman. Check out this place. It's a casino the size of a planet. You can lose your money there. You can get married. You can get divorced. You can go in there. People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do, but they stay because of all the things they can be. Tall, beautiful, scary, a different sex, a different species, live action, cartoon. It's all your call.
So with the Oasis, again, the idea is like everything is connected. You can make anything you want. Some players make money off of making the assets, and other players take those assets and then make other creations out of them. And it's basically a massive ecosystem. And I think eventually we could see that maybe by the end of my lifetime. I don't know. Maybe even before then, we'll have to see. But I certainly think it's definitely a possibility. But with live service not being good enough, we're seeing companies downsize. We're seeing the layoffs. We're seeing the closures. We're seeing also companies like Ubisoft just saying, yeah, we're just kind of going to stick with just a few IPs now and let the rest of them just go to waste. We've seen that too with PlayStation, and yeah, we've also seen that with Xbox to a degree as well, and Sega and Capcom and everything else. They're just going to be sticking to what's making money because, again, live service doesn't make that much money like it did. Inflation is too high, gamers are only spending so much, and everything is also just getting more expensive, and so people have to pick and choose what you're going to do. But one of the ways you can do this is actually ensuring that your players are going to be able to have more content by the community itself. And then you leave it up to the community to figure out what the players want. And then they can make the stuff. So you have to have a good launch. You have to have a good platform, all right? Like Battlefield 6. And they're still going to make some content, too. Just like Minecraft. That's another good example. And Fortnite. But again, eventually your community takes the reins and propels the entire game forward. And I think that's really what Starfield was supposed to be. And it still could be at some point in the future. Because, yeah, while there's roughly 50 or 100 planets that actually has stuff on it, that Bethesda has made themselves, there's still another 900 planets that are completely empty. And the idea of paid mods and users being able to get paid, I think that's great. Or free if they want it to be, like a lot of Fallout 4 stuff. But yeah, the future of gaming, I think, looks more and more like the Oasis rather than the traditional model. And I think eventually console companies are going to have to switch over to this too. Because with what we're looking with Xbox, with what they've been putting out, and PlayStation and Nintendo, some of it is still really great. Some of it is cool for what it is. But the sustainability doesn't necessarily seem to be there because it ultimately costs too much. So one of the ways they could get around that is, hey, we have all of this content. We can make money off of the sales. Some will probably gatekeep to a degree, check out stuff, make sure it's good. And others like Roblox are like, yeah, entire community can just go make whatever they want and we'll just stay broke and not make any money. So there's got to be a balance there. So yeah, I think this is going to be really, really interesting. And I think eventually this is where we're going. So yeah, what do you guys think? This is where I think we're going. And I think it would be very, very interesting and also really, really good for the industry because it's no longer just the devs, but then that's also a problem for devs too. Because they're not just competing against other studios anymore. They're creating against the users themselves. More competition, baby. And that's going to be tough. They can put it out better, faster. They can fix the bugs faster. And some of these companies, they're just too big and lumberous to really try to keep up. And maybe by 2040s or sometime in the late 2030s, just some of the companies are like, yep, we just can't compete anymore with the user base. And then the user base just takes over. I think that could be really interesting. So thanks for tuning in, guys. You can always follow me at Gaming Garbage 22 over at YouTube. We have a playlist there. And if something's not for you, don't sweat it. Just move on to the next thing as we have various content every single week, me, myself, and I. But yeah, we use I use my playlist ultimately to keep things separate. And we have States of Gaming, which are deep dives like this. And then we also have, I also have gaming news, and there's also initial looks and reviews when I can do those, and then playthroughs as well. Currently playing through Chronos: The New Dawn, and then I don't think I'll be able to finish Tomb Raider Dark Angel anymore, which kind of sucks, but I will be also doing a review fairly soon, an initial look anyway, for Battlefield 6. And I got some other things in the pipe that'll be coming down eventually, but yeah, it's staying pretty full. Just got to be able to find time to do it. The other thing, too, is you can follow me over at Twitch at Don't Turn on Thee if you'd like. And yeah, while I'm playing video games, I'll definitely chat with you guys. Though make sure to chat back, okay? Let me know you're there. Let me know you're interested, and I'll definitely chat with you. If you never talk, I'll never talk back. So with that, folks, hopefully you guys are doing well, and we'll see you guys on the next one.